Once again, he's just hooking like crazy inside.
What an uppercut. And now Lacey backs out of there, says, I'm not hurt. Which usually means he is. 4-punch combination. Lacey says it didn't hurt. Look at that. 4 punches again. It's doing Roy Jones a great favor because you can see how. Wow. That's just too good. Wow. Too good. Wow. He's about to go.
Look at that, look at that. Oh my gosh, 5 punches, 5 punches, 5, 6 punch combinations.
You know, and they're all on the mark.
So Roy said, watch this. Roy said again, watch this. Wow.
He took a left hand, and then he just
sticking his tongue out.
Missed the right hand while he's talking to the crowd.
He's letting Danny Green know, you got something coming. You got something coming.
Lacey's in big trouble.
I didn't see the punch.
Honestly, I think it's almost time to stop this fight.
I'm thinking the same thing.
You're almost doing Jeff Lacey a favor to stop this. They're going to stop the fight. So what the referee wouldn't do, Jeff Lacey's own corner did do.
I want to see if Danny Green and Roy Jones going to have an exchange of words possibly.
I don't know. I think these two recognize a good promotion.
The fans at home, Roy is back.
And it is with great pleasure I call upon the Premier of New South Wales, Mr Nathan Rees.
Well, thanks, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I can officially announce that with the support of the New South Wales Government, Australia's 3-time world champion, Danny Green, will take on 8-time world champion, Roy Jones Jr. for the IBO Cruiserweight world title. Great news for sports fans, but even better news for Sydney and New South Wales. The undisputable fact is that Sydney is Australian boxing. Always has been, always will be. From Darcy to Darshinian, the message remains the same. It is Sydney where boxers come to make their mark. Our city is steeped in boxing history, stretching back more than 100 years. It was Sydney in 1908 at the world-famous Sydney Stadium, where 20,000 fans crammed to see the legendary heavyweight Jack Johnson become the first African-American world boxing champion. And that historic moment was more than a boxing triumph. It was a triumph for equality as well, opening the door for boxers such as Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, and of course, Roy Jones Jr. Today, 101 years on, we await another classic contest, the biggest fight ever held in Australia. And this is a matchup which will showcase Sydney and New South Wales to the rest of the world, a match that involves genuine boxing royalty. I'm sure Danny will agree that legends don't come much bigger than Roy Jones Jr. How's this for a resume? Roy's the only man to have won world title belts as a middleweight, a super middleweight, a light heavyweight and a heavyweight. He once held the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the IBO, the NABF, the WBF and the IBA light heavyweight championships at the same time. And let's not forget that space in Roy's trophy cabinet where arguably that Olympic gold medal should hang. Danny, the promoters have set you a big task, but for all those who know Danny and who have followed his career closely, we know that he is the man who can overcome Roy Jones. There is no fitter or committed athlete anywhere in Australia than one D. Green, and there's hardly a more successful one either. They don't give out 3 world titles easily. Significantly for Danny, you won't be alone at Acer Arena on December the 2nd. We expect up to 5,000 interstate visitors, many of them from Western Australia, to be here in Danny's corner. And you won't have to just rely on support from across the Nullarbor. As Premier, I'm proud to claim Danny as a passionate Sydney-sider. We will be beside you every step of the way. Danny, more than anyone, wanted the fight to be right here in Sydney, and like me, he's a passionate supporter of the Parramatta Eels, and I fully expect the Blue and Gold Army to repay his support on the night. The clash between Roy and Danny not only marks the beginning of summer, it kicks off an exciting week, the likes of which this city hasn't seen since the Olympics. During Super Week, you can follow Greg Norman and stars of World Golf at the Australian Open. You can watch the V8s at the new Homebush Street Circuit, see the reformed Cold Chisel, or take in Fleetwood Mac and Green Day. As the Telegraph so accurately put it, a once-in-a-lifetime week of dreams. During Super Week, we expect up to 30,000 overseas and interstate visitors to our city, injecting some $35 million into the economy. So a great week for Sydney, a great way to start it. 2 champions, 2 legends, and the world's best city as your backdrop. Doesn't get any better than that. We wish you every step of the way our our very best regards, our sincere hope that you get on top of this fella, and we are beside you every step of the way, Danny, and delighted to have you here in Sydney.
After a speech like that, Mr. Premier, we might see if we can get you in for commentary on the night too. You're showing me right up.
Fantastic.
Without further ado, gentlemen, both here live with Danny and also across in Pensacola, Florida, time to pick up the pens, sign the contract and make this official. Danny Green, the champion, Roy Jones Jr., the challenger. It is Wednesday, December 2 at the Acer Arena here in Sydney. Greenie, please. Danny Green's signature is complete. Over there in Pensacola, Roy, your turn. Signed and ready. Okay, the hype, I guess it officially begins now. I'll start with you, Roy. You and Danny fought on the same card in Biloxi. Your thoughts on our Green Machine?
The Green Machine was very tough, very competitive. Looked very impressive that night to me. He's always been impressive to me. You can't take anything away from Danny Green. He's a 3-time world champion. Like you said, they don't give guys belts for nothing, so I know that better than anybody. However, he's a great guy. He's a great fighter. I really take my hat off to him for coming back to boxing. He's doing a great thing for his country. He's bringing the best, probably the biggest name fighter of all times, or at least of this time, down to Australia so that you guys can be entertained. However, he's putting his life and his everything on the line for it. So that says a lot and that takes a lot. So you guys should really be proud of Danny for challenging Roy Jones Jr. and asking me to even come there, because I can't say I would have asked me to come to the United States to fight me. So he got a lot of heart.
Danny, I'll ask you your thoughts of seeing Roy on that Biloxi card against Jeff Lacey.
Firstly, Roy, I was prepared to come to America and fight you in your backyard, mate. But I got gloves, mate. I'll travel. I'll fight anywhere. It doesn't bother me. The fact that you're going to come down and fight me in Australia, you know, this is the first time you've ever fought out of your country. So I think it's going to be a real test for even the greatest. So to me, that's exciting. Watching Roy Jones ringside when he's turning to me in the crowd while Jeff Lacey was trying to take his head off. Of course, everyone was impressed, but you know, I'm not Jeff Lacey. I'm a much better fighter than Jeff Lacey, and you know, I feel that if I'd hit Jeff Lacey that many times, then this fight wouldn't take place because I'd probably be incarcerated for manslaughter. So, but you know, Roy Jones is obviously one of the greatest fighters, and him coming here to Australia is just going to be incredible. And for me, the fact that I'm going to get to, you know, I'm confident. I'm very confident. I'm more than confident of winning this fight. And you know, the respect that I have for Roy Jones is immense, and everyone knows that. But this is a fight. It's a very personal thing Roy's trying to do in front of my family and my friends and my country. He's trying to knock me out. It's a very intimate thing when you're in front of someone, and my job's to stop him doing that. And my job, as we all know, is to knock Roy out. And I anticipate and I'm fully confident of achieving that and being very, very, very successful as one of the greatest fighters Australia's ever produced.
Danny, you mentioned respect. Was it a sign of disrespect, Roy talking to you and taunting you while he was in the ring with someone else?
No disrespect at all. That's Roy Jones Jr. He's one of the best entertainers in the game, and you know, I got a kick out of it. But I got a kick out of it because I realise if he thinks he's going to pull that trick with me, well then I hope he does it. And I hope he gets used to doing that. But yeah, it was entertaining, and you know, it was an incredible performance. But I'm not Jeff Lacey, and you know, I think you know, come fight time, it's going to be a different ball game, and I'm obviously the underdog going to this. You know, there's a lot of people out there that expect Roy Jones to have a field day with me, and that excites me more than anything, and that just makes me work harder. And Roy, that old machine, you had that old transmission, I think they come out